Hello, stock traders. Today was one of those days. It was definitely a tough day. I hope that you saw yesterday's video and that you took my advice. Hopefully you had mostly cash and this did not affect you too badly. If you were following the top 7 for Wednesday, you would have had a 1.93% loss if you were in each and every one an equal amount. But hopefully that didn't happen to you. And I had a 2.31% gain. I had mostly cash, but then I did very well in my intraday trading and also kept my original position of SELB, which did very well through the day. But I'll cover that more later in the top 7. Month to date, if you were following this top 7 list, usually we do a lot better, but we are at a 1.05% gain. But actually, that's not that bad if you compare that to the Dow Jones Industrial for the month of October. The Dow Jones Industrial is at a 4.7% loss. Year to date, I'm at a 618% gain for the year, so doing very well since January 1. Very excited about that. Let's get to the day trades. So these are the day trading stocks that I had for Wednesday. I day traded SCKT, MGEN, TUP, and SRRK. Most of these picks come out at 5:30 a.m. Central Time, so very early in the morning. Go through my scan and I go through the different stocks that I'm looking for. This is part of our standard group and our Patreon. It's definitely well worth it. With one good trade, you will easily make up the amount of money that it costs to be a part of that. Okay. So the very first trade I did was SCKT. I bought at $3.89, sold at $4.10 for a 5.4% gain. There were a lot of people in the group who did better than I did as high as 10% gain on that particular trade. MGEN, I bought at $1.11 and sold at $1.25, so that was a 12.6% gain. These are all pre-market. Continuing pre-market, SCKT bought at $3.67 and sold at $3.58, so that was a 2.9% loss. The next was SCKT again, bought at $3.76 and sold at $3.80 for a 1% gain. This was later in the day, was Tupperware, TUP. Bought at $28.60 and sold at $28.48. So that was not a very good one. Had a 0.42% loss. SRRK bought at $41.18 and sold at $40.27 for a 2.2% loss. 50% win rate overall. If I would have been in those all equally, it would have been a 14% gain, but I had an 8.2% gain because my biggest gainer, I wasn't able to get in with size. It was a penny stock and I was afraid of getting stuck. And so I did a smaller position on that one. But I like to use Webull for the intraday trading. You really need Webull as a broker if you're going to participate in the type of trading that we do in our Patreon standard group. It's definitely well worth it. One of the strategies that we use is we get in before everyone else can. You can't do that with other brokers because you're going to get in too late to the stock. On Wednesday, I sold SAVA, S-A-V-A, so this is Cassavia Sciences off the top 7 list. I sold it for a 4.87% loss. With the market as it is, in the short term, I just felt like SAVA was not going to do well till after we get through all of this. And so that's the reason why I sold it. I just didn't want to write it down to a lower percentage. I want to get as much as I could for it. So I lowered my positions in these stocks. I sold some of my IPOB, some of my TACO, TCON, TZOO, and USAP. And now I have less than 1% of each in my total portfolio. Now, the reason I did that is because of my nervousness of the market with the election coming up. I wanted to increase my cash position. So I've gone from 80% cash to 90% cash. So that is how I did it. And this is how I protect myself when the market is like this. So for me personally, the best way is to pull out for cash, wait for all of this uncertainty to pass, and then jump in the market once there's good news and once the market turns around. I do think that's probably going to be about November 4th. With the election and everything going, there needs to be a clear winner and then also that the other side concedes. And that is what I'm looking for before I go back into the market. That's when I think that it will do better. All right, let's get to the top 7 because we've got some great stocks to cover. I want you to keep in mind with these 7 stocks to be very, very careful with these. These are great if there's good news behind them and the overall market is good. But if the overall market is bad tomorrow, these probably won't be the best, except for the number 1 pick. I think it won't matter. And I'll explain that more later. Number 7 is TZOO. On Wednesday, this finished down 9.69%, so this really fell downwards. My average in it is $8.78, but as it gets cheaper and cheaper, and also with insider activity, Ralph Bartel, director, bought shares at $7.80. So as this gets cheaper and cheaper, this becomes a fantastic value. So if there's some good news and the market turns around, I expect that this one will pop right back up, and it might be a great opportunity to get in on it cheap. Number 6 is IPOB. This is Open Door. On Wednesday, this finished down 4.56%. My average in it's $18.34. And ARK is buying up shares, and also this is another one I think that will be a great value if it continues to fall in price. It's one definitely to watch. If we get good news on the market, it might be worth picking up some cheap shares and riding it upwards. Might be a great trade for you. Number 5 is TACO, and on Wednesday this finished down 3.87%. My average in it's $7.75. And if you got in on this right when I started to recommend it, you're doing pretty well in this. You're up about 4%, even though it fell today in price. And Ari Levy bought shares 3 consecutive days, all in open market, and there's got to be a reason for it. Analysts have an average price target of $11.75. And this is a stock that if we do shut down, it will not be affected. Their sales will not be affected because of all the delivery services that they have. I think that this is positioned very well with what's going on in the news, and so I think Del Taco will be just fine. All right. Number 4, USAP. On Wednesday, this finished down 2.45%. My average in it's $5.68. And Christopher Zimmer, Chief Commercial Officer, bought shares at $5.64. And I like this not only because of the insider activity, but because analysts have an average target on this stock at $9 a share. And also, this transaction was extremely bullish at $5.64, the way it was done. And so I'm expecting there to be some news. The insider activity is always the news before the news. So you just got to be patient, and I think there's going to be good news to hit this one. Number 3, Tracheon Pharma, TCON. On Wednesday, this finished down 1.68%. With how the market was down, that's really not that bad. My average in it is $4.73, and I like it because Charles Theuer, CEO, bought up shares, and they recently received orphan drug designation, and so there's lots of great things happening within the company. I do expect some analyst price target raises, but right now the average analyst price target is $5.33, to use that as kind of a point of reference. Number 2 is Heartland Express. Here's another business that would not be affected by coronavirus in any way. We have to get our stuff, and this trucking service should do very well. So this is HTLD. On Wednesday, it finished down 0.38%, so just barely. Brand new to list, my average in it's $19.02. And Director James Pratt bought shares in open market at $18.81. And analysts have an average target on this stock of $21.38. So that's another reason why I like it, is because there's at least a 10% upside to this stock, and it's one that won't be affected no matter what should happen. All right, number 1, and this is probably no surprise to anybody, but number 1 is SELB. And if you added this to the list when I first started talking about this, you were sitting way, way up in it. But this is Selecta Biosciences, and on Wednesday, it finished up 13.51%. It made a gigantic difference in my portfolio because this was one of the only stocks that I had full size on, and so I had not lowered my size on this because I'm so bullish on it. I just know that I feel, anyway, I'm very confident that the stock price is going to move upwards. There's just so many reasons and so many good things going for it. I think this is also a buyout candidate. My average in it's $2.89. Originally it was $1.97, but I kept buying it and selling it, buying and selling it. I've done extremely well with this stock. Hopefully you have also. But Timothy Springer is buying up shares, and it's been 12 business days in a row reported of insider activity. And analysts have an average target price on this stock of $6.71, and that might even be a little low. So there is very big possibilities for Selecta Biosciences. There's so much good going for it, and I think it's one that's going to do great. I do a lot of work for this list, so if you could please do me a favor and please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you were to share this video with your friends, I'd very much be honored by that. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you get notified when one of these videos is out. Please stick with me. Please keep it on. I know it is tough to kind of just sit on the sidelines and just let the market do its thing, but it is not going the direction, in my opinion, that you're going to want. And so it's best just to sit back and not fret about it. You have that cash available to take advantage if the market should suddenly turn. If there should be good news, the reason why the market will move upwards. I'm wishing you all the best. Please protect your capital, and let's have a great rest of the week. And Raythoven out.